Chatting it up with Alvin Garrett today. You are a man of many talents. As I was reading about who you are and what you bring to not only the entertainment industry, but to the world. I'm
Yes.
so excited to talk to you today and
Yes.
give our listeners just a sneak peek at who you are behind the scenes and now what you're bringing to the forefront.
Yes. Well, I have to first let everybody know I am a Alabama born and raised preacher's kid
Come on.
doing my thing because my daddy and my mama told me. Long as I keep God and love involved, you can do whatever it is you believe you can do. And so my career has brought me from Tuscaloosa, Alabama to many, many places all over the world and over the country. And so as a songwriter, I've written on the R&B side for artists such as Joe, Kelly Rowland, Fantasia, Johnny Gill, Ruben Studdard. On the gospel side, Dietrich Haddon, Trinity 5-7, Lowell Pie. Got to give a shout out to my man, Michael Lee, who we were just nominated for Song of the Year
Nice.
for the Stellars
Congratulations.
last year for a song I wrote called Clap My Way.
Wow. So, of R&B, gospel, which songs do you enjoy writing most?
I enjoy them equally, to be honest, because all of them come from my heart and they come from a special place. And they like your little babies. You can't say I love this baby more than that baby.
But sometimes, no.
Some act up a little more than others. That's right. Some
So,
cut up.
so you've written all these songs, but you've also created some for yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about those.
Absolutely. Well, around 2010, I decided that I'm going to start keeping some of these songs for myself.
Come
And I
on.
released my first solo album in 2012, R&B, really sexy, called Expose Yourself. But not nasty, just
Okay, because
sensual.
it sounded a little bit naked.
But no. But it has a sensual, romantic type of
Okay.
expose yourself.
Intimacy.
Emotion, intimacy.
Yeah,
There you
okay.
go. There you go. Because that drives everything that I do. And so as a writer, I started off with that project. And then in about 2015, I hit my stride with a song called By Myself.
Mm.
And that was when I realized that my voice is meant to be inspirational. And that song By Myself, so it touched so many lives. Had people tell me that they decided not to kill themselves
Wow.
from hearing that song. I had people that I work with, that I met who were incarcerated, said that they were listening to that song while they were in prison. And so I did not know how impactful that song would be. So that was what sort of turned me in the direction that I've been in as an artist ever since then.
Does that feel like pressure? I mean, I know it feels good to know that God has given you this gift that can help people in tough spaces. But does it also feel, ever kind of heavy?
No, actually, I delight in that opportunity to serve through my music and to see that it makes an impact and that I can actually listen to someone's story and come up with a message through my music that touches their lives, that lifts them, encourages them, or makes them think. It's a sense of empowerment, to be honest with you, not pressure. Maybe when I first got started as a writer, it was a lot of pressure to write a good song, but I had some good mentors, like my man Fred Jerkins with Dark Child Gospel, who took me in under his wings and taught me how to write good songs and how to tap into my talent, but prepare it for the commercial market.
Talk about a time that an artist did that for you. Maybe a song that you were listening to at a time that maybe was dark for you or heavy for you, or, in our walk, I know sometimes people will look at us, especially when you are impactful and inspirational, and think that you've got it all figured out. But we all have moments where we feel like we're losing it. Talk about one of those times and how you got through it.
First I'll say that the music itself, because I started off on bass guitar, that's my first love. The instrumentation of music did that for me. Growing up playing the bass, that's how I would get away. I didn't hang in the streets. I didn't, hang around a bunch of people, but I would just sit in my room and practice. And so the connection to music and through the bass lines was something that was very healing and supporting for me as a young person growing up. But I do remember one song as you were asking that question, and it's a song called When Your Life Was Low by Joe Sample and Layla Hathaway that really stuck with me. It says, when your life was low and you had nowhere to go, people turned their backs on you. Everybody said you were through. Now you're doing well. And from stories I hear tell, you own the world again. Everyone's your friend. I know I never hear from you, but still it's nice to know you used to love me so when your life was And
It's a reminder,
come on,
a little nudge.
a little nudge that says, hey, and that song touched me back, when I was in college about relationships and how, people can walk out on you when they get there. And that is, I might have had some of those types of experiences throughout my career where you felt like relationships should have gone in a certain direction, but didn't quite turn out the way you had hoped, so that's a song that really touched me.
And now here you are paying it forward and doing that same thing for other people.
Yes.
You're also doing some work with the justice impacted community. Talk about that.
I am about around 2018. I had the fortunate opportunity to be invited to work with a prison reentry organization in Birmingham, Alabama, called the Dannon Project, which is founded by the great Carrie Pruitt. And she discovered my songwriting program because I was doing it in schools around the city, and it was big in the news back at that time. And so she said, I believe that program will really help our young people. And so the Dannon Project serves originally young people and adults who have been incarcerated or coming back home from prison or jail. And so for over 20 years, and over 10,000 lives, changing the lives and changing the trajectory, providing case management, behavioral health treatment, just the whole wraparound service that a person needs when they come back home, right? And when they're coming back to their communities. And so this songwriting program, she saw that it could be very useful for the young people. And so it basically is sort of like a group therapy model. We sit around and we talk. And through that process, we write songs. But it's not just about music and writing songs, it's about living your life on purpose. So many of our young people want to freestyle.
Right.
Just turn on the beat, let me go.
Right.
Well, maybe that's how you ended up in jail in the first place. You just went with the flow.
Freestyling.
You just saw something and you responded impulsively. So we take that freestyle mentality, which is really going to pull from what's already in you, which a lot of times is brokenness. A lot of times is trauma. And if you're responding in that way, your freestyle might lead you to bad decisions. But we're saying now you're changing your life. You have a plan. You have a goal. So let's write your song. Let's write your life. Let's slow down. Does this make sense? Does that decision lead you to the outcomes of life that you want? And so she had the wherewithal to see that program and the way that I was designed it would be really helpful for the young people. And it's been amazing for so many years.
How has it impacted you?
I'm glad you asked. It literally changed my life. I didn't grow up in the streets. I, grew up in a working class, middle class home. Like I said, my father was a pastor, coal miner, mom, stay at home mom, just true middle class in the sense of it. And they taught me to get an education, stay out of trouble. So I was always the guy that's running the opposite way if my gut told me something was about to go down. I loved everybody, but I ain't kicking it.
I know that's right.
I ain't kicking it with you because I'm trying to stay out of trouble. So all through life, until the Dannon Project, I felt that I was avoiding trouble, but I was actually avoiding my mission. So the Dannon Project, when I met the people that were there, I discovered that I had fear of my own people. And so that's where I learned to truly love the way God tells us to love, is when I got to the Dannon Project, because it made me aware that I had a spirit of judgment and I just didn't know it. And so I fell in love with the people I started serving. And so to me, that changed, and I get emotional thinking about it, because that's what I learned what real love is when you serve and help others. And so I thought that they would look at me like I'm too pretty, I'm too cute, no tats, but they embraced me. They embraced me, they embraced my music, and they started calling me Pops. Because I learned that a lot of the young men didn't grow up with a dad. And so they started seeing a father figure in me. So I learned what I can be and the value I could be in the lives of people that I had possibly avoided for way too long. And so I run to that now. And so I even wrote a whole album about those personal experiences, listening to other people's story and just being of service to them, but just them being of service to me, teaching me how to love and being a part of a system that actually works if you engage. And so I'm just grateful. And I'm really glad you asked that question.
I'm glad that you're doing the work. We talked off camera about my story and just being incarcerated and coming home and getting my life together. And I will say that as someone who grew up opposite of you, ran the streets, didn't have, that kind of home. It is hard for someone on my side to see that I am exposed to or have the opportunities that someone like you has. It just looks like that's your life and you have a means to make that happen, but I don't because I think that my conditions refine me. And I don't understand that, at that time that through Christ and through choosing different, that my outcome can be different.
Right.
So when people like you step into people like me, our world and our life, you're letting us know that no, the same God that loves me loves you.
Absolutely.
And the same avenues that I have to make things happen are the same avenues that are there for you as well. So thank you for taking the time to not only pour into these individuals, but to also deny yourself of that space of judgment so that you can get through that because somebody's life is being changed because you exist and because of the work that you're doing with them. And there's a lot to be said for reading the Bible and praying and going to church and all that stuff. But there are people in this world that bring that little glimmer of hope that lets you know that there's something else out there for you. And I believe that you are one of those people. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and we are the hands and feet of God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're the ones who are supposed to show the world that he exists.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's through our love and our service. We don't always have to say or read a scripture to someone. We can just show them love. If they're hungry, feed them. If they're naked, give them clothes. You know what I mean? That's where the connection is made. And so, I appreciate having that opportunity, to find a different type of love. You know what I'm saying? In a way that, like I said, really revolutionized and changed my life.
You're doing a lot of work. It sounds like very sometimes heavy work, a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
But also I just see that everything that you're doing is like different flows. Like it all goes into the same kind of river,
Yeah.
but different streams that gets it there. So whether you're dealing with people or writing music for others or for yourself, it's all inspiring. It's all pushing forward, the movement that God is loving, what that love looks like in the world. Talk about your latest gift that you're giving us.
Yes. I have a new album that'll be hitting the market March 6th. And it's an R&B record called Talk to Her Like This.
Okay.
And I'm currently promoting the lead single, which is Roll, Slide, Roll.
So does it have a dance?
Yes, it has a dance.
Oh, we
It
might have
does.
to do the
We gotta
dance
do the
page.
roll, slide,
Okay.
roll. Yes. So it's an upbeat dance tune, for steppers and line dancers. But it has that positive message of love in there. You know what I mean? And so that's what this album is all about. Just good R&B music that's affirming, endearing, the kind of music like back in the days when you turn it on and the fellas say, I got to figure out a song that's going to let this lady know what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a song, it's like, yeah, that right there, girl. That's what I'm feeling.
Talk to her like this.
See, that's what my dad used to do.
Alvin Garrett said, let me teach you
something. Right. And I got to give a shout out to my dad because he was a hopeless romantic. He couldn't sing, but he always could find a song. So that's how I feel about your mama.
What? God said he was going to skip him and give it to you. Come on.
Right. So it's that kind of album, man, where you're listening to it. It feels good. It's moving at a good pace. And so I'm excited about that music coming out.
We're excited about it, too. What's next?
Well, we're going to keep on pushing this roll, slide, roll. We're going to keep on telling the world and spreading this love, right? Because that's what I'm all about, love and positivity. Don't mean I'm not challenged. Don't mean there's not a lot going on that could steal my joy, but I have to fight for it. And that's a part of what I do. And being able to give back to others helps you yourself. That's one of the best ways to sort of deal with your own mental health and your own spiritual health is to find ways to serve. And so as a writer, that's good in the music context, helping other people with their music careers. And as an artist, putting out positive music really helps.
What about the book?
The book? See? It's down in my it's down in my spirit. It's my It's down in there.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
that's
We
next.
gonna get it.
Author.
On the way.
On the way.
It's good talking to you today. Thank you for
Same
sharing so
here.
much of yourself with me. I'm looking forward to connecting again and just to seeing all the great things you'll do. If there's anything that you could tell someone that may be watching right now that has not connected with their purpose, doesn't feel like everything that we have, is available to them, that the God we serve is a God that also loves them. Look in the camera and tell them.
I'll start by saying this. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how hard you work. Uh, Focus on being humble and understanding that you are not in control of your own destiny, that God holds that in his hands, and be the solution when you walk in the room. Find problems and solve them for people. And most of the time, that's how you make people feel. And that's through your smile, that's through the joy that you bring into the room. And then God will open up the doors from there. And so oftentimes we compete with our talent, trying to make it. But that's a long that's a long journey and oftentimes disappointing. But you'll never disappoint yourself when you matter because of how you serve the space that you're in. So that's my advice to anybody in any industry, especially the entertainment industry. Just take that attitude, and so many things can happen for you.